Hi, how you doing? You good? Doing okay? Enjoying the summer? That's good. Well, let's get this started, shall we? Today's topic is one of those agree to disagree kind of things because it's all about your own personal writing process and what works for you. But we're going to talk a bit about writing out of sequence because it's something that works really well for me, but a bunch of other writers I know swear up and down that it does not work for them. It's no secret that I am not a plotter. I'm not really a pantser either, as I do generally have some sort of idea about what's going to happen in a story before I start writing it. But scene to scene, I don't know exactly what's going to happen, and sometimes I don't even know what the overall arc of a story is going to be when I start writing it. I just know some of the big points I want to hit and what the overall idea of the story is going to be. What this means for my writing is that sometimes I need to jump around a little bit. I'll try to start at the beginning as often as possible and will generally write in sequence, but I have no problem skipping ahead, skipping a scene, or just jumping to the scene I'm really excited to write just to get it out of my system. Now, to be fair, Erica falls into the same category of not quite a pantser, not quite a plotter. We like to think of ourselves as astronauts, but I will let her or someone else with the same writing strategy speak to why that works for them. But for me, I see absolutely no reason why you have to write a story, especially the first draft, in the order it happens. Go with what's working for you in that moment and the bits you really want to write. And then you can go back and fill in the gaps and find the pieces in that story, or the cookies, as Susan Dennard calls them, that make you want to write those scenes. I find it's a bit easier to write the scenes that I'm struggling with once I know what comes next, because I know what they're leading to and what the purpose of those scenes is. And I imagine this is all true even if you are a plotter. If you do know what's going to happen in each scene, why not go and write the ones you're most excited about when you're excited about writing them? Then you can go back later and find out what's making those other scenes drag and what you need to add to them to make them exciting to write and, more importantly, make them exciting to read. The other benefit to writing out of sequence is that you'll drastically reduce the amount of time you spend sitting in a chair and staring at a blank screen. If you're doing that again and again and you just can't write that scene, then don't write that scene right now. Get some words on the page. Move on to the next thing you know what to write. It doesn't have to be that scene you're most excited about, but write something. Write what comes next for you, and you can figure out the logistics of it later. Also worth noting is that if you're using a tool like Scrivener, writing out of sequence gets that much easier. If you're writing a scene and you don't quite know where it goes yet, you can write it, store it away for later, and then later on go back while you're revising and figure out where that scene fits in, if it does at all. Okay, so now I'm doubly curious for someone to do a video about why consistently writing in sequence works better for them, because where I'm sitting, hopping around your story as needed seems like a pretty good plan. But to each their own, everyone's going to have their own writing system and their own process, so I'm definitely curious to hear what works for you guys. Do you write your story from beginning to end in sequence, or do you jump around and kind of see where it takes you? And don't forget to tune in on Sunday for our next live WordNerds chat at 7:30 Eastern Standard Time right here on the channel. This week's topic is going to be a Camp NaNoWriMo check-in, or just a general writing check-in if you aren't doing Camp NaNoWriMo, just to see how everyone's doing, what's working for you. Are you behind? Are you flying ahead of your word count goals? And we kind of want to hear how you're doing it. So we'll see you all then, except I won't because I won't be here. But they will see you all then, and have a great week.